affects millions of people worldwide. I didn't really thought about that. I thought that it would be a weakness to rest. I thought that it would be a weakness to allow myself to feel. But in reality, you're not really healthy or happy. No matter how often I look into social media, hustle culture is dramatically being romanticized. Nothing would ever be worth treating myself like that ever again. And most importantly, I truly felt like shit. I didn't stop there. My body screamed at me and I kept working. I kept doing until I couldn't. Hey guys, my name is Tanya. I am 21 years old and today we will talk about a deeply important topic. It is so underestimated. It is being misunderstood as laziness or weakness, whereas it is just deep exhaustion. It is draining your mental, physical, and emotional energy. In this video, we will talk about what does burnout even mean, how can we truly notice it in our daily life, what actions can we do to heal, and how can we gain our self-love and balance back into our life. So let's go. A few years ago, I had the most toxic hustle mindset ever. I was basically thinking that no matter what I wanted to achieve, I will achieve it when I try hard enough, when I do not give up, when I stay consistent, when I just put more and more energy into it. I don't really want to say that hustling is bad, but the reality is that the extreme form of hustling is harming your mental, physical, and emotional health. I will say it again because all of those things are suffering. You will suffer when you don't take care of your boundaries. And along that way, I didn't really rest. I had many physical signs that I ignored, and this basically led me to my first burnout. No matter how often I look into social media, hustle culture is dramatically being romanticized. And that is what's not getting into my mind, because I had the same mindset and I was facing a reality check. Because you will not be able to enjoy the success you hardly worked for when you are being sick, when you are being mentally drained, when you feel deeply exhausted and tired because of all the energy you have put in and because all the boundaries and all the signs that you have ignored. And it is not something to play with. Let's assume you are at your final destination, where you wanted to be, you have your goals achieved. At what cost did you achieve that? You paid with your energy, your mental health, your physical health. Maybe when you're at this point, you may feel not really good with that. And yes, it may feel exciting and necessary, and it may feel productive at first, but in reality, you're not really healthy or happy. If you have migraines, if you have tummy aches, or constant tiredness, you will realize that something is going wrong within your body. Extreme productivity is a self-worth trap. I said what I said. It is delusional, because what kind of self-worth do you feel when you're actually treating yourself so bad and pushing so hard that you're not even realizing how hard you're suffering? I did those things to myself. I suffered so badly and I got such a hard reality check out of it because I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel worth it. And most importantly, I truly felt like shit. I worked so many hours. I really pushed beyond my limits. I didn't stop there. My body screamed at me and I kept working. I kept doing until I couldn't. I did give so much more input into my work than into myself because I thought that this work is getting me somewhere. But the truth was, even after all the work I have put into this job, nothing would ever be worth treating myself like that ever again. No goal, nothing could ever make me do this shit to myself again, because the reality was I was getting my first gray hair at 20. At 20, my first gray hair. And it wasn't because of any DNA kind of thing. It was because of stress and burnout. It was because of overworking and ignoring my boundaries. Also, I gained much more weight. My skin looked like shit. I looked tired. I didn't really sleep good, or I didn't really have time to rest. I was constantly feeling tension in my body. My eyes were constantly shaking, like my nervous system was constantly working. The truth was, even with all those signs, I still kept going. And that's what I need to tell you. That's what I gotta say, because nobody should treat themselves like that. I don't even wish anything like that to anybody out there, because this is such a self-hatred behavior and nobody deserves that. What you will get out of this is chronic stress. You will suffer deeply. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm still recovering. My nervous system is still overstimulating. I'm still trying to get rest. I'm still trying to stay in my boundaries. I'm still doing all those things. And I'm telling you, nothing is worth it, because the way I treated myself and the healing that I have to do now is much harder than I ever thought. And the reason why it was so easy for me to ignore this was because I was feeling numb. And I believe that if you're in some kind of this situation, you will feel numb too. And that's because your brain is trying to protect you from your own shitty behavior. Even when I had time to rest, I didn't allow myself to rest. I didn't allow myself to do something peacefully, just laying on the couch and doing nothing. No, I was deeply distant from my inner self. Even when I decided, okay, no, I'm going to be kind to myself today. I will rest right now. I will not go on my phone. I will just stay here and try to listen to my inner self. The only two things that came up were shame and guilt. Guilt for not achieving what I did, and shame for what I did to myself, and all the time I'm wasting while I'm resting, because I could have achieved this goal more, or I could have done it faster. It doesn't really matter, because the reality was I didn't prioritize my own health. I didn't prioritize that I needed my health to achieve my goals. No, I thought that achieving my goals was the only thing that mattered. I didn't really thought about that. I thought that it would be a weakness to rest. I thought that it would be a weakness to allow myself to feel. Those are so toxic emotions. This is not normal. Healing is not a weakness. Healing is the strength. It is strength because you're facing all the demons inside of you. It is strength because you're not running away. You're facing your emotions. And that's deeply complex and scary, but it is worth it, because you are worth it to yourself. And because we are on our healing journey, give yourself the permission to rest, to take a deep breath and realign with yourself. Go into your emotions and truly get to know yourself. Who are you? What is your body trying to say to you when you're having some headache or stomach aches or whatever? Listen to it. Give yourself the permission to align with yourself again, to deeply feel yourself again and feel emotions. So here are some tips that helped me through this whole process and are still helping me, because I'm still on my journey. I'm not saying that I'm healed. I'm not saying that I'm the wise person that knows everything, but I'm someone that has experienced all those things and that is recovering right now, tried out many different things, and this is why I'm going to share them with you now. So what truly helped me was putting my phone away, because this is the devil for my nervous system. I am constantly overstimulating when I'm on my phone. I really try to put my phone away as much as possible. When I go into nature, I feel so aligned with myself. I feel more calm. I feel like my nervous system is regulating, and I try to really enjoy the sun that is hitting my face. Or I also try to observe some birds that are flying around, or some butterflies, and I just love it. It is so calming, it is so relaxing. Not only does it feel like I'm aligning more with myself, but it also feels like I'm getting back to my roots. I'm getting back to a calm life, and a life where I'm allowed to rest. What also really helped me when I had panic attacks or really felt overstimulated was breath work. Like, what I mostly did was box breathing, which is 4-4-4. So breathing in for 4, holding for 4, and exhaling for 4. What I also did, I don't really know the name of this method, but I like this one really much. Like breathing in for 4, holding for 6, and exhaling for 8. And this was really, really good, and it felt like it is calming down my nervous system, and it also helped me with my panic attack. What I'm also doing every morning and every night is reflecting and journaling. I just create like a space where I am allowed to rest, where I am allowed to do the things I want to do, to truly reflect and take the time for myself. Something I had to learn the hard way was learning to say no. Because no is such a yes to yourself. Every time you say no to someone else, when you don't want to do anything, you're saying yes to yourself, because you're saying, I am worth my own time. And you gotta keep into your mind, it is your life. You are the only person that is constantly feeling what you think, what you're doing, and also the consequences you get out of the answers you're giving. Every time you stand up for yourself, say, hey, this is not correct, don't do that. Allow yourself to rest. Even say it to yourself. Like when you feel like you're overstimulating again, say no to the digital devices. Say yes to doing some journaling or doing nothing for a time, just sitting around, closing your eyes and deeply relaxing. Because in reality, burnout and self-worth are not really distant from each other. Burnout often results from low self-worth because you're not really keeping your boundaries up when something more important is coming up. Because the reality is, nothing is more important than your own health. When you have your own health, one thing after another is going to build up on this, and you will achieve your goals even in a much more convenient way than you would with exhausting yourself. This is also why I gotta say that be patient with yourself. This is not something you will heal over in one day, but it is worth it. So be gentle to yourself. Whenever you feel like you're being too harsh on yourself again, try to listen to your body. Try to be patient with yourself. Come back to the version of yourself that is trying to get better, that is trying to be more kind to yourself. Because you are worth everything beyond your productivity. You don't need to achieve anything to feel the worth within yourself. See yourself as a person, not as some state of being. What you are is enough. Your health is what is getting you towards all your goals you want to achieve. So don't ignore it, because you deserve to be healthy, and most importantly, you deserve to enjoy the journey that you are working towards your goal. So give yourself the rest and love you deserve. Okay, let's go to your final homework so that you can get deeply into your healing journey. Analyze and observe your emotions and energy. What kind of tasks make you feel less energy or more energy? How are you dealing with that? What kind of emotions come up? Next, allow yourself to rest every day. I don't know, give yourself a time span of like half an hour and do nothing. And with nothing, I mean nothing. Try to listen what your body and soul and energy is trying to tell you. Why do you feel low energy when you are doing this? Why are you feeling low energy now? Why are you having tummy aches? Do you feel stress and all those symptoms? Try to look for them, and then you can work on healing them. And if the feeling comes up, yeah, I don't deserve this, I need to do this and that, no. You will stay consistent and do nothing. And I promise you, over time, you will feel more rest. You will allow yourself to rest more. And every time the guilt comes up and all the kind of bad emotions come up, you will tell yourself, no, I deserve this. I will stay consistent and I will stay here, be calm, and try to allow myself to rest now. Consider your burnout warning signs. Do you notice them? What could they mean? When are they occurring? What kind of situations are giving you those emotions, those reactions of your body, of your mind? What kind of things do you need to cut out of your life to feel more rest, to feel more peace? What kind of things do you need to change? I saved the best for the last because this has helped me the most. And that is build a routine that is intentionally working towards your healing. What I do for myself is I wake up every morning, I journal at first. When I go to bed, this is the last thing I do. I have certain steps integrated, like going for a walk at this time, doing this at this time, no screen after this time. And those are just things that work towards my healing journey, trying to reduce my overstimulation and also getting more of a calm lifestyle into my day. And what I also would recommend, try out all the different things, because just because one thing worked for me doesn't mean that it has to work for you. Healing from burnout can be hard and it can be different for everyone, because a healing journey is always personal. Don't run away from it, because running away won't make it better. But what's making it better is confronting yourself with your emotions, realizing that you are burned out, and acting on it to heal yourself from it. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that my tips were helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and give yourself the time to ask yourself, how are you feeling today?